Hey, this week I'm really excited. I'm gonna play with my new Playmates last Ronin. He looks pretty good. He's pretty dope. He comes with a lot of pretty good weapons. I got him like a week ago or so. The rope comes off and he's really cool. He's got a lot more articulation than the turtles this size usually have from Playmates, but I think he could be a little better. I'm gonna try to give him more of a NECA style paint job. First thing I want to do, I want to see what he looks like without this hood. So I'm gonna try to take that off. That's stuck on. I dip him in some water I just boiled, and that's gonna soften him up and make it easy to hopefully take off the hood. And the shoulder pads are connected to the hood and the goggles. So I'm gonna leave them in there for like a minute. So I'm gonna drip out whatever I can. And if you do this, be really careful not to smash your water mug when you're pulling stuff apart, because I've done that many times and hot water goes everywhere. Oh, his leg came off. That'll happen when you heat them up. Oh, his head came off. Alright. Oh yeah, look at that head. It's got all the color on top, but you'd never see it. Put the leg back on. Alright, so let's speed things up. So now I've heated that hood up in the hot water, or recently boiled water, but it's pretty cold in my apartment, so the water kept getting colder. This took a while, but the hood was easier. The shoulder pads were like 3 times the thickness of the hood, so I did that off camera. It took me like an hour. Now I'm covering everything with a matte acrylic varnish, and that's gonna make the stuff I don't want to be shiny not shiny, but also get ready for the paint I'm gonna put on soon. Before I do the bow staff, I sanded it, and I didn't want it glossy because it shouldn't be glossy, and then I put the matte varnish, but it would have been too thick if I just put the matte varnish. Anyway, the goggles, I cut out a piece and then made them smaller so they were normal, because they were going around the hood. They were too big, the strap. Anyway, I'm painting everything with a SATIN Indigo Night, and I'm just dry brushing 2 thin coats, because I still want the black to show through, but when the proper light hits it, it'll shine with that satin finish paint. And then I had extra, so I put it on a canvas. It looks like a nice dark kind of stormy sky maybe. I move on to a cinnamon brown, and I'm dry brushing all his belt and his bags and anything that's brown or leather. Then I dry brush another light coat of raw sienna. So just each time I do this, it brings out more detail. And on the pads, everywhere. Then to bring it out even more, I add a daffodil yellow, and I dry brush that, and that's a good color for a sun. Why not? I move on to a black wash, and that's just maybe 2/3 water, 1/3 black paint, and I put a bunch on, try to get in all the cracks, and I want to dirty up his feet because his head is darker than his feet, and his feet should be dirtier and darker, I assume. And also in all the silver parts in the cracks, I make sure to get some black wash in there and in the weapons before I move to silver to we'll do some touch-ups on his goggles and on the hook from his rope hook thing. It has a name, I can't remember. Then I dry brush on the silver details with the silver, and the ring on his back that holds his weapons should have been silver, but it was black. And then I use a toothpick to do the little buttons on his bag silver, and I do his belt buckle silver as well, because it should have been in the first place. I only did that with a toothpick because it was in my hand. I could have used a brush for that. That's a pretty cool shot or picture from the comic. Now I'm gluing the hood down. I trimmed it so it's smaller, and you can see his head now because it's got some cool details on his head. He looks pretty angry and older and darker. To put the shoulder pads, I cut smaller pieces off the shoulder pads I cut out of the hood, and I didn't use super glue because I don't want them right on his shoulder. I want them to be elevated a bit, and green stuff works great for that and holds it down, but and also adds some height so his arms can go up, is what I'm trying to say. Now I'm using Milliput because it dries faster, and this would have been better with green stuff, but I didn't do it in time because the Milliput is soft, so the chain just kept breaking out. But I didn't decide to do weapons till later, and I had some extra Milliput, so I make one of those billy club things that he has, And I didn't like the staff after I painted the wrap white, and I thought if I'm gonna make a staff, I might as well make better nunchucks, because the staff has a white wrap and the nunchucks have a white wrap and metal chain in the comic book. So I wanted to do that. And then I tried to make that, just see what I could do with the extra little bit I had. Now I'm covering black where I'm gonna paint silver later, just because it'll make the silver kind of pop out more if it goes on black rather than white. And yeah, cover, what's that called? Tanto or Canto? I'm not sure. Let me know if you do. Now to do the wraps, I'm using hockey stick tape because it's just perfect. I move on to silver now on the parts I painted black to make them silver, like I said I was gonna, I suppose. I cut off the little tip of that because I just stuck a toothpick through for the handle because I had run out of Milliput. And then I wrapped the nunchucks handles with the white hockey stick tape, and I wrapped some black synthetic leather onto that weapon, and then I put a little piece of the leather to make a strap to hold his, well, one pair of nunchucks at least. So those are the two, and then I fit one in. It was a little tight, but I got them there. And that goes in his hand, and now he holds that. So that's what they were going off. They didn't make him blue enough, I thought, so I gave him some blue, gave him some better weapons, let you see his head. And that's all until next week. So until then, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.